Bring it back.
Hi guys, what's going on, and welcome back to another episode of Total War Arena. I'm EvoLoz, and today we are looking at artillery, specifically Roman Tier 3 catapults. So, it's sort of one of the tech trees I haven't really gone down very far yet. I know I've only recently just started, hence I want the Tier 3 catapults. I've mainly been doing sort of the cavalry I've been particularly enjoying, and recently I've been starting to enjoy the archers as well. But I thought it was time we gave the catapults an explore and see what they're all about. So if we have a quick look at the units, mine aren't particularly upgraded yet. I've only played a couple of battles with these ones, so I've still got the rest of the tables and all that to do to get the upgrades. Obviously I'm using the Julius Caesar as the commander. He's specifically designed to work with the catapults, as his things like he's got Veni, Vidi, Vichy, which I think is that we came, we saw, we conquered sort of thing. So the Veni is actually particularly useful as an area of effect boost. So if you activate this, and because this activates on allies as well, so if you activate this tier 1 buff, you know, behind your units that are in a melee fight, they gain plus 25% attack and 20% defense, which is, you know, a very good buff. It's almost matching Vengeance. So if you activate this on one of your units that's already got Vengeance in effect, you know, a Germanicus general, then this will be really effective, so well worth using. And then the other one is basically sort of a ranged buff. This improves in the missile dispersion and specifically the artillery aim rate. So that's well worth having. So the actual artillery pieces themselves, there's a couple of options and people seem to tick different things, whether you go for 2 artillery and an infantry like I have, or you can go for 3 artillery. Personally, I prefer it with an infantry unit. It's very easy to get a stray cavalry unit, enemy cavalry unit that ends up just popping around the back, and if he does and he finds you and you've just got your 3 undefended artillery, then the game is over for you. So I think it's well worth having just 1 infantry unit there to defend you. So on that front, the infantry unit takes spikes. There's no real choice there in my opinion. Spikes are the things you want. If you can get your artillery in a nice position with only 1 or 2 entrances, you can deploy spikes, and these will block the path to enemy infantry and cavalry and make it a lot more defendable. So if you've got infantry, take spikes. Now the consumables for the actual artillery themselves are quite interesting. So I have provisionally been running them with just the Carpenter, since that gives me extra range and increases the accuracy of the aiming reticle. But there are quite a few interesting options, so I'm just going to take that one off. So we've got a couple of other ones like the Acrid Smoke, which is basically a choking smog. It's like an area of effect weapon. Burning Coals, again, it's like you know, but all these and the oil pots are sort of all area of effect weapons. So when they splash down, they're like the torches, the barbarian infantry units. They'll splash down, they'll create a fire in oil pots and burning coals, or a smog in the effect of the Acrid Smoke that will then slowly, continually damage the enemy. So I'm going to select, well, we'll have, which one did I get? Burning Coals on that one, and then on this one we'll try oil pots, and we'll see how we get on with them. I think it's going to be interesting to see. I think they could be quite effective if you get them to land in the middle of an enemy unit, particularly if you've like got some Roman infantry which are currently in Testudo, and you set them all ablaze. I think you could quite rapidly build up quite a lot of damage, so it could be well worth doing. Stat-wise, there's not really all that much to show for artillery, other than the key factor really is the range. The missile weapon range, 350. You know, that's so much further than the archers, and you'll see when we get into a battle the actual sort of effective range of these units, and it's pretty good. So, without further ado, let's hop into a battle. So, we are loading into the Battle of Thermopylae. We're unfortunately not top tier, we're sort of tier 3 and tier 4s in this game. Obviously I want to set up a little bit further back from the front lines to play it a little bit safe, to see how sort of things pan out. What's the layout? Reasonable amount of 2 units of full cavalry, so we can expect sort of a similar amount on the enemy side. I'm probably going to set up on this cliff here because I can put my infantry behind me and deploy some stakes, make it a little bit easier to defend my position, and that should give me fair shots into the centre of the map. And hopefully we can do something with them. So let's move up and get our infantry on the move. The main thing I've learned about so far about this artillery is that you really need to learn your hotkeys. I find it pretty confusing, actually. I've got to admit, initially, to sort of get the hang out of. How do these? You get the infantry to start deploying some stakes. Okay, so get the infantry set up. Both artillery units are in position. So we've got the option of sort of manual control and just right-click aim. So let's just immediately launch some early shots against these Asini infantry. They just seem to be standing here. Try and get some shots in. Ooh. It's a nice early hit. Nuked. I even got the nuked award by the looks of it. And a couple of more shots in. Whether they've come forwards or backwards, we don't know. So I'll unleash one more little shot in their direction. So we've got some enemy cavalry on the move. Probably not going to advance that far. No, wasted shot there. So the enemy are wisely sort of staying out of range at the moment. Although these enemy infantry are well on the move here. So let's just take some freak shots just to see if we can sort of roll them. You get quite a bit of distance on these balls. You see, like that, look. So we did 5,000 damage just on charged shots. It's still reloading. Okay, let's aim a little bit out. I'm going to activate the increased aim and keep up the shots, basically. Oh, that was a good one. So while you're not going to wipe out any enemy units, this is what you're really trying to do, just accrue damage on good targets like this. They're now taking missile fire. You know, these are 3 sort of pretty big enemy units to the game, and we're just sort of decimating them, and they're really not achieving anything. We'll throw another shot in blind. Missed there. So till we get visual back on those enemy units, we don't know quite what's going on with them. So they're pushing out here. Oh, they've done a little rush. Ah, good few hits there. Again, we'll aim ahead a little bit. Oh, that was a good damage. And now they're taking heavy arrow fire just to top their day off. We'll try and aim a little bit ahead of them. A little bit too much ahead of there, I think. No, some good damage nonetheless. So we're racking up quite a bit of damage, and that's where the catapults come into, you know, their own skill. So let's swing our catapults back round, try and get some shots on these guys moving. I am generally aiming a little behind the enemy because the balls roll quite a long way. Oh, they just stopped in time. Look at that. Very fortunate timing on their part. So there's no reason to not really aim ahead a little bit. Two shots out there. That was some good damage. Pleased with that. We're going to have a go shortly with these coals, I think. Let's get that shot up. So we'll activate the oil and activate coals. We get 4 shots on each. A little bit of minor damage there. Oh, that was a good shot. That was a much better shot. So we have got... Oh, there's friendly archers firing into that one. So let's have a go at these hoplites over here with our burning coals. Oh, they look like they've missed. Unless the shot goes long. Yeah. So they are like explosive rounds. I see. We've tried to aim those shots, but again I think they're going to fall a bit short. Yeah, they do. They fell a little bit short there, which is a shame. Oh, wow. We are suddenly under much greater threat than I thought we were. That's the cost of not paying attention. Let's activate the combat buff. Yeah, it's put me in a bit of a bad spot, unfortunately.
We have units under attack.
Oh, we did some good damage at least there on the defence. I think we're... Yes, okay, we're certainly now in trouble, I would have said. Let's trying to get sort of the melee buff from the Vichy command, but we're now just being pressed too heavily by the enemy pikemen. Oh, that's the risk of not paying attention with the catapults. Obviously, you really need to watch your mini-map. I can maybe expand this mini-map, make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, that's certainly something I'm going to be doing from future games. So I stand a little bit of a better chance of being able to see. I wonder, is there an abandon? Yeah, you. Let's see if I can just stand at any chance of being able to sprint out of here. No, completely trapped in the hoplite. Well, unfortunately, that's my own fault for getting caught out. I still think that was a reasonable game. You can actually, so just to show you, you can still rack up quite a bit of damage with the catapults just firing into the enemy units. If you're going to play catapults, certainly I'd advise you enlarge your minimap and keep a close eye on dots near you. If I'd got better warning, I might have stood a chance of being able to dismantle those catapults in time, or asking for support back to base, and actually doing some damage. But we got a reasonable amount of damage in. We got a very nice hit at the end there with the fire pots, which kind of demonstrated how much you can do. 7,000 damage in one shot. So it kind of demonstrates how much you can do actually when it's, you know, when required. We've now got friendly infantry, friendly reinforcements turning up. Looks like we've got this game in the bag, hopefully. We should have enough numbers. And there goes my last man, so we are out. So what have we got left? Some enemy friendly cavalry are just charging the rear of the Romans. And some more cavalry charging in. Doing a reasonable amount of damage. There's arrows absolutely everywhere. And someone has deployed some scorched earth. So must be some barbarian infantry, which there are. And now they're running into their own scorched earth. Which seems a little bit silly, still. So, yeah, we've got the Romans sort of cut off here, turned into a bit of a melee. But again, I should think we shall still win this one. We've got quite a few... Oh, auxiliary cavalry coming around the back trying to go for our archers. And they've got through, they've got round the Romans. And into the side of that units of archers there. It's quite an effective charge. If those two units can break off though and start to return fire on them. And the cavalry are now getting caught up in the Roman essentially sort of tier 3 infantry, which is causing them quite a lot of casualties. Starter getting worn down. Looks like we're capping their base as well. What's going on over here? Oh yeah, we've got 3 units of hoplites now in their base as well, so we should cap pretty quickly. Although they have got a few defending archers, although they've just missed. Couple more enemy infantry coming out of the woods. Yeah, I really wish we'd sort of been paid a little bit more attention and been able to do a better job of defending here. I'm not quite sure what happens to my spikes. I thought I'd deployed some. Perhaps I didn't. Maybe I forgot. Or maybe they took them down while I wasn't paying attention. But we certainly managed to inflict pretty heavy damage as the Roman infantry moved through the woods over here, which was good. And we managed to get a few shots in over here and get some damage in there, which was also good. But just a lack of attention really started to sort of cost me there. So I've got to be careful not to do that in future. Some friendly infantry getting involved in a fight over there. Well, I think this battle's a win, so I think we'll leave and hop into another battle for a separate game. But I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Sort of give you an idea, at least a little bit, what artillery is all about, even if I'm not particularly very good at playing them. Thanks, guys, and I shall see you on the next video.